Hi, good evening. This is Dr. Rajul Dutt, and today, in continuation to my earlier discussions and videos on various topics of management, particularly I'm discussing in the last few videos about these various skills or skills management or the various the importance of skills for a business person or a person who are in association with the businesses. So today I'm taking a topic. Most of my viewers, they have given me a feedback to discuss upon leadership, the the leadership skills, and what do we really mean by leadership, and therefore combining these leadership or the skills of leadership skills with management skills, and how does is this related to management, or what does the leadership skills will help the business managers. This is ought to it is ought to know about the very importance as to how these two terminologies are associated, because very often it is being considered that when we talk about managers, when we talk about business, when we talk about leaders, they seems to these terminologies seems to be synonymous, but technically speaking, these are not synonymous. There is a fundamental difference between these two words. So being associated with business, or even if you are not associated with the business, let's understand as to what these two terminologies are very closely related. Aspects are how do they closely related fundamentally. So when you talk about management, now management is the interest of people, because when we talk about businesses, we talk about management or managerial skills, and therefore among these managerial skills, one important skill therefore is the leadership skills. We discuss upon as to how does this lead, why does this leadership is being it's important for us to understand as a business person, as a business student maybe. So management, when we talk about management, we are talking about the process of getting things done through people. So this is one fundamental aspect when we talk about this terminology, or when we discuss about management. We are the very first thing which is comes to our mind, or should come to our mind, is as the to understand management is process of getting things done through people. Important question now, which is not being said up till now, is how. So for that, one of the very closely related aspect, or very fundamental aspect, is as to how the answer goes into leadership. And therefore, for today's discussion, I've taken management and leadership. It's not management versus leadership, but the very essential leadership to be an essential part of management, or for managerial decisions, or for managerial activities. Now, coming to leadership is the process of influencing others. So when we talk about management, it is the process of getting things done through people. Now for this, we require, as a manager, as a leader, to become a leader. Who is a manager? Manager is a leader who is leading a group, so becomes a leader. It's not a political leader I'm emphasizing upon. It is the to lead people as to what are the basic things which should one possess as a business manager. Maybe at any level, it does not matter, but because at any level of management, basically there are three levels of management: the lower management, the middle management, and the upper management. And therefore, the as we goes up, the number of the people working under, or with the what we call it as in technically terms as the span of control, it enlarges, it becomes bigger. And then as you move up, you are controlling more people, more number of people. Therefore, so process of influencing others is very important to us, as to when we are able to influence the people, it is only then we can get the things done through people. So let us understand now that when we're talking about managers, we are talking about leadership, and leadership is influencing people. Now, influencing people to get the work done through people. Now, these two are concepts. Let us combine these two together, and then we see as to what does it means to us. So basically, what is the what I will try to emphasize upon, and what I will emphasize upon is during my session this for today, is that leadership is an essential part of effective management. It's not the part of management. For effective management, we require leadership. Let us understand the very concept in this particular fashion. So, when we talk about leadership, leadership is again about getting people to comprehend and believe in the vision you set. You set as a manager. And what I'm trying to say is, as a manager, set for the company. So every company has got a vision, and this vision is the person, the top person who who to whom for conveniently we are using the term as manager is of the company, and to work with achieving your goals. So goals are set by the top person for the manager in the discussion, and this becomes the vision, and this is to ought to fulfill your dream or to achieve your goals through people. So however, management is more about administering and making sure of day to day activities and are happening and are happening as they should. Every likewise, when we talk about in a household activities, they are all routinized work. The problems are routinized, and therefore the housewife keeps on solving. And this is what she has to. The administration part is as to at what time. For example, I'm taking one particular aspect, and that is, for example, breakfast, lunch, evening tea, and dinner. So this is administering these particular one activity in four phases. So when we talk about management, management is all about, in my earlier videos I've discussed about, when we talk about management, it is the functions of management. They are applicable to any and every kind of organization. There is no ambiguity in this understanding. There is no double thought as far as the business practitioners are concerned, or the people who are into business. So, what are the various functions of management for the people who have joined me now or must be watching this video for the first time? Let me give a quick recap. That when we talk about the functions of management, that is planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and and controlling. So these are the five basic general. Though different management thinkers have defined into different. Some have considered four functions. Some have considered even seven, eight functions. So basically, very prominently when we discuss about it is the basic five functions of management. And when we talk about leadership, now leadership is all about influencing, it's all about mentoring, is about motivating, it's about inspiring whom? Inspiring the people working for you, inspiring the people working under you, inspiring the community, the workers or the managers at different levels, who are sharing your vision, your goal, or the organization's goal to achieve. So let us put up, let us understand this, a slight bifurcation of these two, and it will help us in understanding, therefore, as to when we talk about management. Management is the process of getting things done through people. It is more of administration for day-to-day activities, and the how do we do it? That is the various functions of management, what we have discussed. While to get these things done, this is what I'm trying to fit in into to relate the leadership skills. Now this is when we talk about this looks to be very bookish. This looks to be, there is no practicality in it. It seems to be like, you have got a one formula and you are solving the formula. No, it's not that way. When we go for implementation, it is very difficult to make the other people believe in you as to how, why would they think as your vision is right, unless and until you are able to make the people understand that it is you have got in your thought process, your vision is in such a fashion that no other person, they have got the vision. If they believe in you, it is only then they will work for you in the achievement. So again, let me put it, I will discuss it in again a later stage, but since the topic has come up, generally speaking, people, there are of generally behaviors if we're talking about people. So there are two types of people: pessimistic and optimistic. So larger section of the people, you find it, the very first phase, if you ask them, you give them a problem, they say, okay, now no, the solution is not there, it's difficult, we cannot do this, nobody can do this, then the outcome would not be the desired outcome. So these people, these kind of people, though they are intelligent, though they have got a knowledge about their work, they know about their job, they have as far as their technical knowledge is concerned, they might be having experience in their related field, in the field they are into. But again, the behavior is one that is pessimistic and optimistic. It is, researchers have shown, and we also believe that optimistic people, they can achieve the goals, they can do the work, or they initiate the work, and therefore they motivate the other people to work. Pessimistic is the, with all given set of things they have, as far as the experience is concerned, their academics credentials are concerned, expertise maybe they're concerned, but they pessimistic behavior. But the good point, is, and we all as trainers, we believe into that a pessimistic behavior can be turned into an optimistic behavior, because anything which can be learned can be taught, or whatever can be taught can be learned. And therefore, the pessimistic behavior of the people, why I'm saying this, because the people who are associated with you in the organization, for example, if in any business organization, there are a number of people who are associated with you. Now it is very difficult to to select the people on the basis of optimism and pessimistic behavior. So these are two aspects. The only, and you cannot, removing people and hiring people, removing people and hiring people on the basis of this. But because technical people who have got expertise, experience, they also play a very important role. Their opinion, their expertise will give an added edge to any organization. There is no denying to it. But the problem is the behavior is pessimistic, because any work they do not take it. What I have not said yet is the most of the people, they are not risk takers. It is a tendency of human to choose, majority of the people to choose a path which seems to be an easy way to go in, where they think that the solution is easy to get, whether the solution is viable or not. So this is, ultimately, why I'm saying this is the, it hampers the organization success, because it becomes the hurdle to the success of any business organization, for that matter. And therefore, the good news, or the good part of it, is that these pessimistic people, if they are being given proper training, they are being given proper guidance, this behavior can be changed to optimistic behavior. And the more in any organization, and the people are more optimistic, they will add to the success of the organization in a much faster pace, and it will help the manager, or the top person of the organization, to achieve his or her goals. So having said this, the leadership and management, leadership is defined, not defined, it can be understood, as the potential to influence and drive the group efforts towards the accomplishment of the goals. So it is not one individual who will take the organization. One person, or the top person, can have a vision to to achieve something, to set objectives, or to achieve goals, for that matter. But it is the group efforts which helps in achieving the goals. And therefore, I just said, and for this we require the people who have got optimistic behavior, rather than, again, coming back to that, is the almost all the people who are working in organization at any level of management, in any level of working, does require these leadership skills. And these leadership skills, qualities or skills, let me put it in one way to have a better understanding about if the skills is not that the leadership qualities. And why do we require these qualities? Basically to influence, to motivate people. So, what is leadership then? Again, leadership is again when I'm emphasizing upon leadership because ultimately, I have started with the discussion with how it is associated with how management, or how can we associate the leadership qualities or the skills of leadership to management. And fundamentally, I have tried to explain the fundamental as to what is leadership and what is management. So again, leadership captures the essentials of being able and prepared to inspire others. This is, we should understand in this particular, to inspire others to do the work, to influence others to do the work. And therefore, effective leadership, again, effective leadership is based on the upon the ideas that are effectively communicated to others in the way that engages them enough to act as a leader wants them to act. So this is, this is one aspect which we say influencing to work as per the expectations of the leader. Now this is very important. They are people, they are ready to work, or the people who are working under any manager, they are ready to work, they do their work. But how does they uh, believe in you? And this process, this gap has been bridged by as to how effectively you communicate your ideas to the people to believe in as to what you want to achieve. It is only then, if you are able to communicate is your what is your thought process as to how good you are in coming to the wavelength of the people, to match the wavelength, to make them understand as to what they do not see it. It is the leader who sees the, this is what I said is a vision, but the people who are working under for this manager, they do not see, they cannot visualize at that particular moment of time, and therefore it is very difficult them to explain them as to what how can it be achieved. But if it is properly communicated here means if they are taken into account into the decision making before making a decision, if the people who are working, they are taken into the consideration, they ought to be explained. And this explanation again is if you are able to influence the mind of the people who are working under you, who are working with you, rather it's not under, I'm using the word under, it's like the people who are working with you. Let me put it again into more sophisticated manner, and in more digested manner, that is the people who are with whom you are going along. You have to go along with the people to achieve any objective as a business manager. So again, the question is what makes a good leader then? Because the management skills or the managerial aspects, administration aspect, that is there, but what does it, takes to make a good leader? In other words, like what are the leadership skills which are widely debated? Again, in management, we do not have the immediate answer. You communicate it to the people and make them understand as to what exactly you intend to, because it is again the tendency of the people who are listening, to add their own thought process into as to what they are listening to. So this is again a barrier. Again, I've been emphasizing upon the communication skills. It's not about talking about verbal and non-verbal communication skills. Again, listening plays a very important role in communication. Listening is as to what the other people are saying, what the other people is saying is we should not put your own thought process, should not put your own imaginative ideas into the ideas of the other person. It is only when you hear the in totality and analyze things and do it. But most of the times, it's practically when the people start saying and you make your own judgments in between. And this is why, again, I consider that listening skills plays a very important role in for any person. Let's not talk about a business person, for any person to in order to understand the other person, because what the other person is saying, if you put your own thought process in between the process, the whole things go haywire. One might not take it at the on the very on the very surface of the whole thing. So it is clear, should be clear that the ability to lead effectively relies on the number of key skills. Uh, this is, in fact, no one right way to lead in all circumstances. That is what I've just mentioned. We do not have any one way. There's no one way written as to which is the right way to do it. Not even in any management books you find that this is right, this is wrong. The only thing is we discuss the various things, various options, various thoughts by various management thinkers, and we leave it to the other person, the listener or the reader for that matter, or for the training people or trainees for that matter, to believe in as to what should be right or what ought to be right if they are in their place, in the place of the manager taking decisions. So it is, we discuss the various aspects of the thought process, but there is no one way of giving, of giving one way, this is right or this is wrong. This is not the whole idea of starting business studies or understanding as to the various aspects of business. It is one should know about the various options, the various methods of doing the work, and you choose your own method. So leadership skills are, therefore highly sought after by the employers, as they involve, dealing with the people in such a way to motivate, enthuse, and build respect. And this is again, for the first time I'm using this concept of respect. If you command respect, it is then the people will hear you, will understand you, you know will be able to do the work for you. If they don't believe in you as a senior person, as a manager, or as a decision maker, I mean, there's no denying to it that then the people will not work properly. They might work, but they will not give their 100% to it. And when we talk about a business organization, it is expected that all the people who are associated with the organization, directly or indirectly, in the thought process of decision making, they should give their 100% into what we call it as to run the organization effectively and efficiently. So basically, for a leader, and a manager, for the discussion, for the point of view of the discussion, combining these two into one now, and referring the management and manager and the leader as one. So again, when I'll go with the explanation of these skills. Now, these are not very exhaustive skills. These are just for our understanding of the topic. It's not technically these skills, or we are discussing. It is for our own purpose, to understand as to what this leadership means to us. Because again, I said in the very beginning of my this video that the whole intention of it is that when we talk about management, to to implement about your managerial skills or management thoughts, we require leadership skills. So this is how I'm trying to combine these two terminologies widely used in business organizations. So one is strategic thinking. Now, strategic thinking is developing a vision where you want to be, where you want to go. This is what strategic is: long term. Let's talk about long-term planning, long-term, but with a bigger perspective as to where you are today. It doesn't matter where you want to go. This is important, because where you are, exactly as to where you are, and from that you aware as to where you want to take a leap to. So this is what I mean by strategic thinking. That means thinking for for in a not for a in a long term perspective. Planning and delivering. Now, when we talk about planning, this comes because I've earlier said that planning is the one of the first and the foremost function of a business person or a management for a management person that way. So when we talk about management functions, the planning comes the first and the foremost. And it's not only for business organizations. When we're talking about management functions, these functions are universal in nature, uh, universal in the sense that their functions are equally applicable throughout the world as it is, and in any kind of organization, whether we are talking about a business organization or a family organization or a non-profit organization or a dharmat organization, a military organization, so and so forth. The list may go for. Again, the third aspect is the people management. That is finding the right people and motivating them to work towards your vision. Now this is where, in the earlier, I mentioned about the behavior of the on the people to select on the behavior aspect, that is pessimistic and optimistic. This is, and now there is, again, it is very debatable when we talk about as to right kind of people or to take a right decision. These are, these things are being discussed very widely discussing, in any lecture you find about to take a right decision, to have the right people, to have the right thought process, to have the right thing, but nowhere it is written as to what is right. So again, these things becomes again, debatable when we talk about as to. I've just said, right kind of people. Your question might be as to what kind of right people. If you find the right people, then the problem is solved. So how to choose these right kind of people? Now again, on the basis of I purposely I said that people they may have got very good academic qualifications, they might be having an educate experience and expertise in their field, but what to do when they are, by nature they are pessimistic, it does not guarantee, the person, and it may be the case, the person who is not well educated, who is not, has not exposed to any circumstances, business circumstances or organizations, given a chance, they can turn the tables, and and these category, I believe in that this is the category of entrepreneurs who takes all the risk and start their own businesses. They take initiative, and this initiative is again one of the factor of the leadership. So again, things are debatable, but for the point, for our for our understanding, I'm taking the things on the very surface level. We can have I can have a later, detailed discussions on these very skills in at in to discuss at length. For example, change management. Again, change management is is recently been added. It's maybe some 10-15 years back. The concept of change management has come up, and people, they talk about change management. But this is, change management is what recognizing, responding, or managing changes to your vision and plan. Now you take a vision on the basis of the present circumstances, but what happens is, the circumstances, they changes fast. The external factors, the it changes very fast, or not fast, it keeps on changing. So it is not, I plan for, for in say the first year of my working, and go in it will remain the same, this status quo for another 5 years, because when I'm strategically planning, strategic planning, that is for more than 5-10 years, and the circumstances changes, and therefore to understand that one should be able to incorporate the changes, and changes, they comes, without any alarm, without any they do not give us the indication that the change is going to take place. It is we as a business person, as a top person, or maybe a decision maker, to look upon the changes that might happen in the changes accordingly, to make your to achieve your vision, because you are not touching your vision. That is very easy, if the circumstances change, you change your vision and put up, and change it, and then everything falls in line. No, it is